Hello and welcome to episode 70 of the She Must Knit podcast. My name is Erin and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys had a great week. We had a really nice week. It is August. 1 month of summer vacation is done. Only 1 month to go. Raise your hand if you are counting down the days. I know there are lots of parents who just love their kids being home from school, and don't get me wrong, I love having Avery around, but I am not one of those parents who is not looking forward to school starting again. So 1 more month to go. She's looking forward to it as well. She misses her friends and she misses the regular routine. She misses the teachers. She just misses the whole school environment. But 1 more month, we can do it. This week we didn't have a lot of library activities. They were kind of taking a break with some other programs that we just didn't do. They were for older kids and stuff like that. But Monday we did go to the beach. She absolutely loves going to the beach, so we did that. We've done some other things. But I feel like I have a lot of progress on various projects to show you. So what do I have for you this week? I have a finished object, I have a whole bunch of new cast-ons, and then I have a project that I actually won't be able to show you, but I will tell you about, and I will explain more about that later. We also have the winner for the July drawings, and then I have my goals update. So what were my mini goals for July? Did I complete them? And then also what my mini goals are for August. Now, if you are wondering about my brighter than normal eye makeup today, every week I do a makeup challenge over on my other little channel. And this week's challenge was to use all makeup that Avery picked out. So she went through all my stuff. She picked out the stuff that I was supposed to use this week, and this is the result of some of that stuff. She picked out some interesting things. But that's fine. It's been a lot of fun to wear today, and she really liked it. She thought it was a very, very pretty color combination. So we are going to get started with the knitting, and I think first we're going to do the drawing for the winner. If you are a new viewer, every month I do a drawing from comments made on any of my videos, as well as any purchases made in my shop. Each item purchased is an entry, and also each comment on any of my videos in that given month is an entry. And then I draw a winner for who will receive a $20 coupon to my shop, just as a thank you for your overall support. So the winner this month is Bogdan, and you comment often. You are a regular in the group. I so appreciate your participation. So I know you know how to contact me. Contact me, probably through Ravelry would be the easiest, and I will get you set up with that coupon. So we are going to jump right into my finished object, and up until a minute ago, Mr. T had just cozied himself up on these socks. If you remember last week at the end of the episode, I put in a little clip of him just loving on the socks that I was making for Dennis. Well, he was taking a little nap on them, and I actually had to move him out of the way and put him on a paper bag so that I could show you these socks. But last week they were almost done. I'm sure you are not surprised that I finished them for this week. I only had a little bit of the foot to go on the second sock. But these are my Dennis socks, and I made these out of some Regia Perfect yarn, which is designed so that you get two perfectly matching socks. And if you'll notice, they are perfectly matching socks. So if that's your thing, if you love your socks to be exact matches, this yarn was so fun to work with. You basically start at the top. Each sock's worth of yarn is divided by some yellow yarn, and you just knit, 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 knit. And when the color changes, that indicates when you're either changing from your cuff to your leg, or your leg to your heel, or your foot to your toe, etc. The past 2 episodes, I go into a little bit more detail of what it was like to kind of work through that, but it really was very, very simple, and it was a very enjoyable process. If I didn't have loads of other sock yarn that is suitable for my husband and the other boys that I knit for in my life, I would absolutely look into getting some more skeins of the Perfect, but I do want to work through some of what I have. So I did use slightly bigger needles. I used 2.25 millimeters for these. Usually for my socks I use 2 millimeter. I think I cast on about 72 stitches. Usually if I'm doing socks for someone other than myself, I cast on between 64 and 72 stitches. I like a higher stitch count. but these should work for him fine. I have tried them on. We have the same size feet, and they should work for him fine. I'm putting these aside. One of my goals for my bingo card this year is to knit Dennis 4 pairs of socks to just kind of boost his sock drawer. I have at this point way more socks than he does, so I want for Christmas, instead of giving him just 1 pair of new socks, I would like to give him at least 4 pairs of new socks. One of the reasons that I chose the Perfect, and this is also going to go into the next object that I will show you, he is very, very, very hard on his things, and I have learned that, you know, your standard indie dyed yarn, that's just your 75-25 merino nylon, he will just chew through. So I have learned that he only gets stuff like the Patons Kroy and the Perfect kind of Regia type yarns or opal yarns. That is all I can knit for him. So second pair done, and that is that. I finished those socks. So the next thing I am going to go into is the other pair of socks that I started. So last week when I was saying that I was almost finished these and that there was going to be kind of a lull of a few days before I could start my next Desert Vista dyework socks, and I would have no socks to knit, and I was like, what am I going to do? Maybe I'll have to cast on some new socks. That's what I ended up doing. I picked out some yarn and I started pair number 3 of Dennis's, my 4-pair goal for Dennis for the end of the year. And I cast on with some Patons Kroy that I had in the stash designated for him. This is the colorway, the green striped rag, so there is blue in there. It's kind of green, gray, blue stripes. And I got that cast on, and these have been kind of my computer area socks. So I've just kind of left these at my desk, and whenever I'm just kind of watching something or just kind of chilling over in that area, I will pick these up and I will do a few rows. So this is the progress that I have made on these so far. And I'm also doing these on the 2.25 millimeter needles. The Kroy is a little bit thicker than your standard fingering weight, and it also helps them knit up faster, which is just oh so glorious. So these are working up pretty well. I believe I did do 72 stitches for these as well, 2 by 1 rib, and then just stockinette. And I will probably do a German short row heel for these. It does tend to fit Dennis's feet very well, and because it's such a fast and easy heel for me to knit, I like knitting that heel whenever I can. So this is all the progress that I've made on these. The Patons Kroy comes with 2 50-gram balls. Well, you buy them separately, but I've got 2 50-gram balls, so I will basically knit this one up into one sock and then this one, and I will probably have some leftovers, but that is fine. So that is one of my new cast-ons. Another new cast-on, let's stick with these socks. So like I mentioned, last week I showed you my finished July Desert Vista dyework socks, and yesterday was August 1st, so I was able to cast on my August Desert Vista dyework socks. Now I don't think I cast them on yesterday. I picked out the yarn I wanted to use, and then I cast them on this morning. So I actually only have a wee little start, but I will show you what I have so far anyway. And this color choice was actually kind of a, it's not what I was planning. When I went to my little area, so right in there is where I have my Desert Vista dyework yarn, and when I went to that area to be like, okay, I've got to pick my color for August, I had in my mind that I was going to go with this teal one that she has. She does like this color series where it's mainly kind of black and gray stripes, and then she'll pick a color to go with that. So she's got like teal ones, red ones, turquoise ones, yellow ones, blah blah blah. Mr. T is playing with my socks. He's not, hey, oh, he's so much trouble. Anyway, so I went in there thinking I was going to do the teal one because I really want those teal socks for the fall. I wear a lot of teal. And then when I went to get it, I saw this skein and I was like, oh no, I need to knit these first. So it's all caked up. This is the If They Kill Rick colorway. Susan did a whole line of colorways based on characters from the show The Walking Dead. And then I believe as the characters kind of got killed off, those colorways would be retired. So the colorways were available for as long as the character was on the show, and then once they were kind of like kaput, that colorway was taken off the website. So I had my eye on this one. I think of all of them, this is the one that I liked the best knit up. I don't watch the show. I have no attachment to any of the characters. But when I saw this one knit up, I really, really liked it. And so I had my eye on it. And when she would announce that, oh, this one is going to be retired, then that's when I ordered it. So I got it all caked up yesterday and ready to go. And then this morning I cast it on. Now, we have been out and about pretty much all day. We actually just got back. After we went to the library in the park, they had a movie day today. Dennis came home early from work, so we went out for dinner. We just got back from dinner and they've gone out to the park to play, which is why I have some peace and quiet other than a troublesome cat to do this little recording. So this is all I have done. I got this cast on this morning and that is it. So this is all I have done of my first August sock. Now, I think I've mentioned it before, but I don't mention it on every episode, but I like to start my socks by knitting straight. So I cast on all my stitches, and these are for me, so I am doing 81 stitches. I cast on all my stitches, and then I do 3 rows of the rib before I join it in the round. I just find it so much easier to join in the round once I have a little bit of knitting on the needles than trying to join in the round when I just have the cast on stitches. So because these are for me, I cast on 81 stitches. I do the 2x1 rib, that's my standard rib, and then I think I'm just going to do a stockinette sock for these with the triangular heel that I like. I was very tempted to do a German short row heel for these, but I just really like how that triangular heel fits my feet. And last year I had so many socks that just didn't fit me well, and I ended up giving a lot of them away, that I just really want the socks that I make this year to fit really well. So that's really all I have to say about that. I just have a little bitty cast on. Hopefully by next week I'll be into the cuff. Maybe I'll even be into the leg. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying bringing another project to the park with me lately. I may have to switch it up just so that for sure I get these done by August, the end of August, but we'll see. We'll just have to see. So finally, I have one more new cast on to share with you, and then I'll talk about the other one briefly that I don't have here to show you. So last week I did mention how I was doing away with the lace pullover. I decided that it just wasn't a project that I wanted to work on anymore. Every time I sat down, I thought, okay, I've got to finish this project. I just didn't want to, and I decided it was time to just rip it out and start new, and I talked about the pattern that I was planning on casting on. So this is a project that I really want to do for my friend's little girl. She is 4. We are actually going to see her this weekend, but I don't think, I mean, who knows, crazier things have happened, but I don't think I'm going to have this finished for Sunday, but you never know. It's a little shrug. I might be able to do it. I'm not going to try and do it, but it might happen. But yeah, so I decided I was going to cast on the pattern Isabella, which is just a really pretty top-down shrug with some fluttery sleeves and kind of a fluttery hem along the back. I have made this pattern before, years and years and years ago. I was one of the test knitters, and so I had made one for Avery, and I found it was a really kind of versatile little piece to layer over dresses, and right now my friend's little girl is all about dresses, and so I think this will actually be a really, really good piece for her. So I showed you the yarn last week, and I was going to be casting on with the Willow Guppy. This is a 100% Draylon yarn, and it is very, very soft. It's about a DK weight, and this is how it is knitting up so far. So I am working up, this is the cast on edge here. I am currently working through the increases along the raglan edges. I have to get to a certain number, and I've got my little marker in right here. You can you can see the little clip there, because after this point it was like something like 14 more increases from this point, so I just put a little clip there, and because the increases in this pattern are knit front and back and you get that little bump, I'm just kind of counting the bumps from this marker until there are 14 bumps, and then I'll know that I have done my 14 increases before I go on to the next step. So if the next step is taking the sleeves off, that's why I'm thinking, depending on how much I work on it tonight and then also tomorrow, I think Dennis and Avery might be going out tomorrow. I might be able to get this done for Sunday. You never know, but Like I said, I'm not going to try, but you never know. I really like how this is working up. I knew it was going to work up in stripes, but I kind of like how it's these faded stripes. I did change the needle size, so the pattern called for a 4.5 millimeter for the body of the sweater, and then you go down to a 4 millimeter for the ruffle. And I knew with this yarn, with a DK weight yarn on 4.5 millimeter needles, the gauge, this isn't a very plump yarn. It's very kind of smooth and silky, and I felt like on 4.5 millimeter needles the fabric would be much airier than I would want it to be. And so I'm actually using 4 millimeters for the body, and then I may go down a little bit for the ruffle, or I may just stay with the 4 millimeter. But I do really like the fabric that I'm getting on the 4 millimeter. So progress on this is going well. Hopefully it will end up better than the lace pullover. I think it will. I think this will be just a much more practical garment for her and what she likes. And yeah, hopefully I will actually have something to show for starting a little kid's garment. That is another square on my bingo card, and I only need one more project to mark off that square. The lace pullover was going to do that, but then I decided to kind of rip that out. So now, as long as I finish this one, I can call that square complete. So I just want to do that. Another thing is, I was looking at my notebook, so on Ravelry, your notebook where it shows all your projects, and I realized like the last almost 10 projects that I've actually finished are like all socks. Even though it feels like I'm working on things other than socks, that's all I've been finishing is like the 10 pairs of socks in the last couple of months. So I need something other than a pair of socks on that page just to kind of break it up a little bit. So the final thing that I am going to talk about very briefly before we get to my monthly goals is my taffeta top. So I think I showed this about 2 weeks ago. I did not show it last week because I had barely put any work on it. But this week I was so excited to show you because I've put on a number of inches. This is the project that I brought to the beach with us. It's the project that I've been bringing to the library every day, and we've been there for several hours some days, and I feel like I've put a good couple of inches on this project. And as I was setting up today, getting everything ready, I realized that it is in my knitting bag, which is in the car, which is with Dennis and Avery because they went to the park. So I do not have that to share with you. I was really hoping I could show you my progress. It's just going to have to wait till next week, but that's okay. So the final thing that I have to share with you is just how I did on my goals this month. So I am going to be putting up a little picture of the items that I finished for the month of July, and then also talk you through my goals. So my goals for July were, first of all, to finish my July Desert Vista Dyework socks. I did that. Next was to finish my lace pullover. I did not that. I've actually decided to rip that out, so womp womp. Finish the hand spun socks that I started the month before. I did that. Finish the cross stitch. So I decided that because July, I wasn't sure how many projects I was going to be able to do. I was going to throw in a little cross stitch pattern. That is also one of the goals on my bingo card, and I just wanted to I think I wanted to finish that because it wasn't going to take very long. I didn't even start it. I actually did go online and try and look up some like graph charting software, or not software, like I wasn't going to buy anything, but some sort of graph or something that I could download from the internet to kind of figure out my design, because it is something that I want to kind of create. And I did do that, but I didn't really find what I wanted, so it kind of stopped there, and I haven't really followed up on it. So I need to get back to that because I do want to finish that square. And then finally was to start the next pair of socks for Dennis. And not only did I start them, but I finished them as well. So now my goals for August. I tried to keep it fairly simple even though there's a lot of finishing involved. I want to finish the socks for Dennis. Now, I do think I can do this just because of how fast the Parafix socks were. On the slightly bigger needles, they do work up a lot quicker. But with everything else that I want to finish, that if any project is going to kind of probably fall off the radar and not get done this month, that's probably going to be the one. But I made it a goal anyway. I want to try and finish that third pair of socks for Dennis. I also want to finish my August Desert Vista Dyework socks. I am pretty confident that I will be able to get that done. Finish the Isabella. I think that shouldn't be a problem. It is a very quick knit. And then finally finish my taffeta top. That one might be a stretch as well, but I think if I keep working on it consistently, it can be done. It is a very simple knit. It just needs the time to be worked on. So I'm making it a goal to finish it, because if you remember, I cast on the taffeta top after I put my Cumulus sweater aside, and my whole thing was I was only going to do that if I picked up my Cumulus top September 1st again. So I'd really like to finish the taffeta top before I get back to the Cumulus, and I don't want to push that Cumulus too far. By the beginning of September, I really want to get back to that sweater. So I'm going to make it a goal to finish taffeta. Cross your fingers, wish me luck, hopefully I can do that. But yeah, those are my goals for August. I think they are attainable. We'll just have to kind of put my mind to it. But then I also have to remember that I am preparing for 2 shows coming up. I have the show in Barrie, the Fiber Spirit show in August, on August 24th, and then right after that is the show in Kitchener. And I've mentioned before, it's very hard to get work done with Avery home. So yeah, some of my projects may have to slide a little bit. We'll just have to see, right? We'll just have to see. So that, I think, is everything that I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a fabulous weekend with lots and lots of crafting, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.